This is the track plan for my layout with the Benchwork I presently have installed. There's a little bit of flexibility with all of the track work except for the center module. And eventually, my layout may look like this with a continuous loop, but that's probably a ways down the road. Installing the first module, have it in the corner. It's leveled up. There's some screws in the back that attach to the benchwork, and then it rests on those small L girders. Leveled up, and then the leg is attached on the end, and it's screwed into the shelving on the bottom, and then a screw in the top on the module frame. Then the second module is installed. It butts up against the first module. It's leveled up. It's attached to the first module with some drywall screws. It's attached to the benchwork in the back with some drywall screws. The end is leveled up and it's clamped with a 1x2 so that the end is level. And a leg is made for the end of the second module, so it's standing on its own now. A couple years ago I was building a diorama with a double track, a bridge, a mountain. It ended up being just too big for a diorama, but I wanted to use it, so I constructed a special module that I could drop it down into. And initially I was going to use it in the far left corner, but then I wanted to use a diesel facility there, so I'm trying to adapt it to put up on the end. You see that vertical black line on the left side? I have to cut it off there because it's too long. The box on the left side of the end module allows it to connect to the first two modules. The box on the right side allows the curve to transition out and go 90 degrees to the benchwork that would move on from there. Tried to save the tunnel and the river and all that, but it just wasn't going to work out, so I had to remove it all. And here I'm building the module that goes against the far wall and across the window. It's over 11 feet long, so I had to splice some pieces together. And there you can see on the end where it fits into the corner. And it's 1x3 and it's 9.5 inches wide. There I'm setting it up. On the left side, I'm using a 1x2 and a clamp to set the height. And then on the right side, I'm setting it up and attaching it to the corner module. And it just attaches with a couple drywall screws. I used 1/4 inch ply on this. I want to keep it as thin and as light as possible. And I started gluing foam down when everything was set up. And I got a bunch of wheels on the blue foam to hold it in place and keep it flat. And you kind of see where I'm at right now. And I got pink foam on the narrow end module. And I got to put the radius in all the corners, but I need to do the backdrop work first so I can, make sure I can reach everything. And I'll give you a little tour of where we're at. So we got this corner, and I think I'm going to permanently put a backdrop in there to go around that corner. It'll curve around the corner. And there's just a small block there that it rests on, and then there's one screw in the wall there. And I may put a removable backdrop in behind there where the window is. And we got the 2 inches of foam there. They're two 1-inch sheets of foam. And I use the blue there so it matches the center module. And of course we got the track in the center module, and that track is in to stay. And I think I'll have some industries up in the corner, and the track that is closest to us will curve around. I still want to have a river here, and I have to find a bridge that's going to fit where it's short enough where I can get the curb to transition out nicely, but long enough where it makes a pretty nice scene. And then the fascia will curve around there so it won't look like it's a big square block there. And for the legs, you can see there's just a drywall screw in the leg, and each module has its own legs, so they stand on their own, so you can remove a module that's next to one and it doesn't affect it. And there you can see where the legs are screwed to the shelf, and it's pretty rigid. And just some drywall screws through the back of the module into the benchwork. And the legs for the other two modules.